Welcome back, Yellowhammer Nation, Superstation 101 WYDE. It is Tuesday, time for our weekly chat with our good friend Cord Sachs from Fireseeds. How you doing, Cord?
Good to be here.
Glad to have you, man.
It's always good to have you in studio.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Different dynamic, and we always enjoy it.
Out for the 4th of July, but back this week, ready to roll.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. And,
ready to roll.
And who's the person you brought in with you? Just because
I brought my son today. Yeah, we just picked him up from downtown at the great folks at UAB doing rehab. So he joined me today.
Well,
I'm
we're
glad to have you in studio.
Yeah.
The mic's hot. If you want to talk, you can.
Thank you.
Good having you. He said thank you. That's good enough right there.
Yes.
So, Cord, we're continuing on, and we've been talking about leadership topics. And today, I understand that the topic is how full is your bucket?
That's right.
So you say this is one of the questions that great leaders ask themselves on a regular basis. How full is your bucket? So tell us about the bucket. I want to know about the bucket. Then I can actually imagine that you're going to help us know how we can fill that bucket.
Yeah, that's right. You know, great leaders are always asking the question, how full is my bucket? And so let's talk about the bucket first. The bucket literally is, think of a container in your chest that really does, it holds the things of substance, the things that mean things to you, your energy, your passion, your purpose, your zeal. And so when we ask ourselves, how full is the bucket? We're asking ourselves, how much energy do I have right now? How much passion? How much zeal for life? And I need to check that gauge. I need to ask that question regularly because the answer to that question is how much I then have to give to others. So that's the bucket,
Nice.
and we're going to go from there.
All right. Makes
All right.
perfect sense.
So then I guess the next question is, how do we fill the bucket so that it's filled properly?
Yeah, and I think to give context to that, let's talk about how most of us jump to filling the bucket probably without thinking very intentionally about it. And so we feel that there's an emptiness. Gosh, it's not there. I don't have the passion, the zeal, the energy right now in life. I've got to fill it with something.
Right.
But most of the times we try to fill it with temporary substance that just doesn't last. It doesn't fill the bucket. It doesn't give us that energy or that passion that we thought it might.
Right. My life would be better if I had that new bass boat.
If I had that new bass
I
boat,
buy that
right.
airplane. I'm feeling better.
Well,
yeah.
I'll give you something, a real simple example: food. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times, man, if I got that meal
Eat that
coming
pizza.
up, that good restaurant, and
Yeah.
I go, and then 6 hours later, it's gone. I thought maybe that would fill a little of that emptiness in my bucket, and it's gone. I mean,
Right.
trips. I mean, we've all taken trips this summer, and I mean, how many of us are driving back on 65, back up?
Most
Upstate
miserable
from the
drive in the
beach.
world.
And what we say, we need a vacation from our vacation.
That's right.
But for the previous 3, 4, 5 weeks, we got that on the calendar. That's
Yeah.
going to fill this bucket.
Right.
And it doesn't. It's a temporary fix that then is gone right after.
Absolutely.
So that's how we try to fill it. It doesn't work, and so again we're left with an empty bucket.
So we have a tendency as humans to fill our bucket with superficial, non-lasting, temporary things. You said, what would be the process of discerning what's actually going to fill it properly?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the magic question is how do we fill that with things of substance? And Don Clifton has a great book. It's called How Full Is Your Bucket? You need to read it. It's simple, but it's a New York Times bestseller. And he talks about the principle of how we get our bucket filled is by filling other people's buckets. Now, this is not a profound. This is a profound principle, but he didn't come up with this. Obviously, this has been around for a long time. This is Christ, said this.
Yeah.
This is in our word where he says it's better to give than it is to receive, and that's not just a catchy slogan that was said. I mean, it really is. It's better to give because when I give, I then get a double portion, and I'm not only giving to someone else and filling their bucket, but my bucket is filled as well.
Right.
It's the same thing about, he said it's better the first must be last and the last will be first. That's this whole principle of servant leadership.
Right.
When I have the mindset of giving and serving others, I'm putting myself last, but then I'm being promoted to first because people want to follow people that fill their buckets.
Right. Well, I said the bass boat thing a minute ago, and, you've talked in the past about the midlife crisis, and if we only live for our own success, then we're really destined for a crisis. So I'm guessing that the empty bucket is actually similar to how you feel is the reason for the midlife crisis, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's just, unfortunately, many of us, because we're not asking that question, how full is my bucket on a regular basis, it's that midlife time where we kind of, we introspectively look back and realize, I thought I should be full by this time, but I'm 40, 45, whatever it is for you. And you look back and you realize I'm not.
Oh, my gosh, I need the convertible Beamer.
And there's where the crisis comes in.
Yeah.
But we have our buckets emptied all the time. And so if we're not asking the question, engaging our buckets, and then connecting the dots to, okay, wow, I need to fill my bucket by giving to others, by serving, by giving away. I mean, we had Alton Hardy in 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
And, I mean, was he not a bucket filler?
Pastor Alton Hardy was a true bucket filler, man. What they're doing at Urban Hope is amazing.
Absolutely.
Just amazing.
And so, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, now I could almost imagine someone thinking as they listen to you, like, but my bucket's empty because I've been serving. I'm depleted.
That's right. Well, I think that we definitely can be overworked, and in a sense, because we are serving, I think there's an essence to that, to where there's some truth there. I mean, a lot of our ministers, a lot of our pastors, they do serve and serve and serve and serve. And there are times to be refueled. I mean, I think there's times to go and literally have respites and have vacation and have times where we rest and we get our energy back.
Right.
But I bet if you asked Alton how full his bucket is in his life right now because of what he gets to do. Yes, he's tired, but the purpose, the passion, the zeal is I mean, you heard it. We all heard it, and is live and well. And I think that's what these people, that when we see they've got so much joy in their life, so much passion, and then we look and we see that they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of substance,
right?
But they're giving their lives away. That's the secret sauce. That's the magic to the whole bucket scenarios. When you give, you get it filled, and so you want to keep giving and giving and giving, and really that's what it's all about.
And it doesn't even have to be a lot of time. If it's time that you're giving, or maybe it could be a small financial obligation to someone. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a little here and there, right? Can actually help you fill that bucket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think of there's the times when Jeremiah and I and our whole family, we went to Africa last year.
Nice.
And I mean, it literally was the most unbelievable, life-changing, bucket-filling experience. But then we also got to just help out and go serve at Alton's church one day. We went to some of the local schools over in Fairfield, and just we're there, play with the kids. We handed out a few Thanksgiving meals, and man, we walked away, and I mean, our buckets were full. I mean, we had energy, we had passion, we had zeal, we had purpose, and we came back and we had so much more to give for the rest of the week in our regular day life.
I see Jeremiah shaking his head yes, in full agreement with that. So you've actually got to do some of the work that your dad was just saying about with Urban Hope. What a great group of people. And you felt full, I guess, after helping because you were serving and helping people in need, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. And how old are you, Jeremiah?
I'm 16.
16 years old. I love the fact that we're talking to a 16-year-old Andrea who has that passion to want to help others.
Sure.
And that's certainly going to fill your bucket for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the greatest things that, even as a father, and I got 6 kids, and I'm saying, how do I keep my family's bucket full? And there's this essence, I've got to go buy them a lot of stuff, or I've got to get them in the best camps, or I've got to maximize my summer by taking the best vacations. And sometimes the greatest things we do, we walk away from, are the times we simply go and find that service day at church where we're just going out in the neighborhoods and helping folks fix up their homes, or there's so many opportunities out there, and I we talked about continuing the story around Urban Hope and just following that, but what a way right in our backyard for people here in Birmingham to get involved, to help with what they're doing over in Fairfield. Like you said, we need mentors. You can go over and serve in so many different ways right now. Obviously, you can give to Urban Hope and the community center they're building, the entrepreneurial center they're building. So just a lot of different ways right here in our backyard. You don't have to go to Africa to give. We can be a part of something phenomenally impactful right here in our backyard.
And I think the website's urbanhopecc.com for those that would maybe like to do it with Urban Hope. But it doesn't even have to be them. It can be anywhere you're listening to help try to fill your bucket. Cord, it's been a pleasure seeing you, and Jeremiah, pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Glad you guys were on today. And Cord, if people want to find out more about Fireseeds, give them the website, how they can get in touch with you guys.
Just go to fireseeds.com. I want to help you with your recruiting, leader development, love to serve you, and hopefully give to you through what we do with Fireseeds.
All right, Cord Sachs, good seeing you, brother.
Great to be here.
All right, Andrea, that's going to do it for us. Our thanks to Cord Sachs, Scott Dawson, Chris Reed for all being on this program today.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Jeremiah as well.
Yeah,
thanks
don't
to him
forget
for being
Jeremiah.
on. I am going to take some time to help fill a bucket, actually, by helping my family on their move to Florida. So
It's
the
a
next
much-needed
3-4
filling.
days, I'm out.
Yes.
But I'll be back Monday. Andrea, Chris Reed with you tomorrow. God bless y'all. Bye. God bless y'all. Bye.